विश्व शांति धारा। मनुष्य आज विनाश के कगार पर खड़ा है। पूरी दुनिया में अशांति फैली हुई है। ऐसे में विश्व शांति की आवश्यकता बहुत ज्यादा और तेज हो गई है। इस अशांत वातावरण में विश्व शांति कैसे और किस प्रकार हो सकती है, इस पर विचार विमर्श करने के लिए दुनिया भर के ज्ञानी, साधु संत, शास्त्रज्ञ और तत्ववेत्ता पुणे में एक साथ आए। अवसर था लोनी स्थित दुनिया के सबसे बड़े विश्व शांति गुंबद में आयोजित विज्ञान, धर्म और तत्व ज्ञान पर आधारित 8वीं वैश्विक संसद का। इस 3 दिवसीय समारोह में सहभागी ज्ञानी वक्ताओं ने विश्व शांति और मानव कल्याण के विषय पर अपने विचार प्रकट किए। आइए सुनते हैं उनमें से कुछ चुनिंदा विचार विश्व शांति दर्शन पर प्रसारित एक विशेष कार्यक्रम में, जिसका नाम है विश्व शांति धारा। नमस्कार, विश्व शांति धारा में आप सबका स्वागत है। स्पीकिंग ट्री की संपादिका नारायणी गणेश ने इस बात पर सबका ध्यान आकर्षित किया कि आज हम जो भी जानते हैं वो पूर्ण ज्ञान का अंश मात्र है।
My own personal thoughts on the theme would necessarily be a tapestry of borrowed wisdom, and I am grateful for all the knowledge I have been exposed to as an editor and writer. I will raise around 5 questions in the course of my talk. Being a journalist, that is my karma. And then perhaps only experts can answer these questions, whether scientists or sages. And some questions may be such that there are no answers, only possibilities. For as it has been said, we stand on the brink of the ocean of knowledge. What we know is but a minute fraction of what is out there yet to be known. But just because we are not aware of of some things, it doesn't mean they are non-existent, and that is the charming mystery of the universe, both the outer universe and the inner universe within us that holds so many secrets, so pregnant with potential that no seeker can say that their path towards the ultimate truth is boring or uneventful. The 4 constituents, mind, matter, spirit and consciousness, play a role in every individual's life, although the 4 may not figure in equal measure. So to rationalists and some scientists for whom the laboratory has the final say, matter and intellect would be of paramount importance, whereas for those seeking higher truths, the more ephemeral nature of the mind as well as spirit and consciousness may be the dominant factors. So the human mind and its relationship with the human body, specifically the brain, is a subject that is constantly evolving, as it is the interplay between what we could call the saguna nature of the brain, that is the physical brain made up of fat, water, protein, neurons, cells, etc., and the nirguna nature of mind that has no form, but yet it is an intrinsic participant in brain function. You can physically touch the brain, but you cannot do this with the mind. What could be more mysterious than this? It is said that the intellect is the cognitive faculty, whereas the mind is the ability for rational thought. But it is also the mind that is capable of irrational thought as well. And so to wrap our heads around what exactly these terms and concepts mean is a very difficult exercise indeed. So which is why these topics really need to be studied in depth in a dedicated school of consciousness, and I'm sure Dr. Jayant Khandare and his team will look into all these questions and enrich and add to our knowledge bank further. The mind, whether we are referring to the conscious, subconscious or unconscious mind, is often on autopilot when we carry out routine tasks, but at the same time what impels the mind to act is connected to the firing of neurons, as Dr. Ranade would know better. So my first question is, can the mind exist independently of the brain? Does the mind need a physical body to be able to function? Or is it a part of consciousness in the individual, which is also a part of the larger whole, the universal consciousness that we call Brahman? What is generally understood when we say mind over matter is that you have a strong willpower. A strong mind can overcome, say, something like physical pain. For instance, it can take control of the body's well-being. That is, a positive outlook, a tranquil disposition, coupled with a healthy lifestyle, can prevent occurrence of many diseases. Hence the saying, a healthy mind engenders a healthy body. But this still does not answer the question as to whether the mind can exist independently of the brain. So when we bring in spirit and consciousness into this discussion, the plot thickens. Where is the spirit located and where can one find one's consciousness? How is individual consciousness connected with the higher consciousness? So second question is, if spirit is connected to the soul and there is something called near-death experience, and if an afterlife is a possibility, then how does one connect the dots between mind, matter, spirit and consciousness? Is the link to be provided by pure science, or do we feel and experience the connection through intense and mindful focus, spiritual practices like yoga, chanting, meditation and prayer? This is exactly what researchers in collaboration with scientists, philosophers and monks are trying to find out through conducting various experiments. And in the year 1987, the Dalai Lama, along with two others, a scientist and a lawyer, set up the Mind Life Institute to find ways to understand reality by marrying scientific inquiry with compassionate wisdom, contemplative practices and introspective methods. In its 35 years of existence, the Mind Life meetings have generated a treasure of insights that reveal how scientific methods and traditional contemplative practices can work together to bring about greater understanding of mind, matter, spirit and consciousness. So my third question is, are memories stored only in the brain, or do our muscles and microbiome, spirit and soul carry some of it? If the double helix DNA contains the blueprint of life, perhaps intangibles like mind, spirit and consciousness contain imprints of past karma that could be carried forward to the next life. So while an individual memory bank is unique, that too can evolve and change its contours and content with the passage of time, and each time we recollect the past, we tend to add or subtract from it. But collective memories could be more authentic because there is corroboration from many people. So we are confident of knowing the location of the brain, but when it comes to intellect, mind, consciousness and spirit, we have no clue. Just as some rely on GPS to navigate the physical world, seekers need a spiritual compass or spiritual GPS to navigate the world without form. And this metaphysical compass is available in practices like meditation, chanting, prayer and yoga that are all tools that can help the individual center his mind and reach a state of equanimity, a prerequisite if one is trying to reach for enlightenment, at least to some degree. So where does religion figure in this discussion on mind, matter, spirit and consciousness? I recently saw a cartoon depicting a bowl of water with fish swimming in it. The fish in the bowl was metaphor for believers confined by their belief in a specific religion and its dogma. The cartoon also shows the bowl floating in an ocean of water with its own aquatic life. The ocean is metaphor for spirituality and the bowl of water is metaphor for religion. Spirituality is vast with infinite potential, rich in possibilities, whereas religion, on account of its rigid interpretation and beliefs, might not be able to escape the confines of dogma. So my fifth question, last question is, then why is it that when we seek the spiritual path, we are advised to train ourselves in no-mindedness? To reach a state of no mind is to become free of the past and future and live in the present moment like the jellyfish does. It is said that to become full, you have to experience true emptiness. And this is possible if one achieves the no-mind state that is possible for a person of equanimity, which is why meetings such as this and learning from other scriptures and religions is very important in our search for truth. I know it's all very confusing, but we hope we can find our way through this maze.